last night. The train was a bit late, so we got this lecture start by late by a few minutes. Dr. Sandeep Grover has obtained his bachelor degree, master degree, and PhD in the field of quality management. Sir has authored more than 100 papers in national and international journals and conferences. The areas of interest of Grover sir is total quality management, manufacturing quality, education quality, application of MADM approaches, and new education policy 2020. I also want to share one thing that Grover Saab was also the mentor of our TQ program way about a few years back, and he used to come to our college for the IQAC of our institute also. So he has a long relation with our institute. I welcome you, sir, today. Grover Saab is also associated with different regulatory bodies for quality-related activities, and sir has delivered numerous lectures in various institutions of the country with topics of quality management in manufacturing system and new education policy 2020. Sir has also held the various posts in institutions that include Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Dean Engineering and Technology, Dean Management Studies, Dean Quality Assurance. I'm very privileged that such a renowned academician has came to our FDP, and I hope all of you will learn something good from sir at the end of the lecture. So over to Grover sir today. Thank you, sir.
To interact with you people, and I have been told that you people are from different backgrounds, not in terms of only your subject area, but also from your different institutions. So before I start with my lecture on this outcome-based education, I would just like to know about you. You people are from which place? You are from GME, many of some of you are from GME only. If you are from GME, others
from STEP GME.
So from STEP GME, Science and Technology Entrepreneur Park to Nanak Engineering College.
What about others?
From Bandar Singh Mahal Engineering College, Patigarh sir.
You're from Patigarh, sir. Okay.
From Kanpur, Marana Group. From Kanpur.
Namkana School. Clara School.
So how many are you? Are you from school system? Others are from all engineering background. Some of you are from engineering. Okay. So, dear colleagues, we are going to talk something about the outcome-based education. The theme area of this ATAL program is NBA accreditation, and one of the important parameters of NBA accreditation is outcome-based education. So, the whole philosophy of NBA is based on the outcome-based education. So what I have planned for today is that I will be giving you an overview of outcome-based education, and we will focus something on the program education objectives also, and POs also, and course outcomes also, and then something about the attainment. But since you people are from different background, so I think we need to first understand that how outcome-based education is related to all of us, and how it is different from the conventional part that we are understanding. So someone can brief me, what is outcome-based education? What do you understand? What is the meaning? What does it include, outcome-based education? See, we all are teachers. You are also a teacher, I am also a teacher. So let us be in a discussion mode more than on a single-sided lecture. Because I want that some meaningful outcome should be there from this lecture. So for that purpose, I hope English is comfortable to all of you.
Yes, yes, sir.
So for that purpose, I think it is very important to understand what is it actually. What do you understand by outcome-based education? Anyone can.
Whatever we have set the goals for, whatever the goals we have set for any specific task that are going to achieve in the last of the day or not. Like before outcome-based education, we are following the.
Yeah.
Voice audible? Voice audible? कुछ इको तो नहीं है?
Hello.
as per the NBA, there are total 12 program outcomes. So after completing the graduation, whether all the 12 program outcomes are going to achieve or not. If there is anyone is missing, then we can say it's our outcome is not achieved. So meaning is whatever the target or whatever the goals we are going to set for any specific task, that are going to be achieved or not at the end of the day.
So you are talking more about outcomes,
Right.
program outcomes, yes. But my question is very simple. What is outcome-based education?
Sir, where the student can able to implement the learnings which he or she have learned from the education system, and he is going to implement those learnings. I think that is the better outcome.
Continuous evaluation of students, so what they are learning.
Students have learned in 4 years.
Okay, anybody else? School people, who are our main teachers. You are from school, no? Some people raised hand. School to kade bande school ko? Yeah. Aaj daso, what is outcome-based education?
Means to implement what one person learned from the course in real life.
Implement in real life.
Implementation. Number of educations in program outcome or course outcome.
So let us start from the basic. Yes, please.
Outcome-based education means that simply we set some outcome in the students. We want that after completing the degree, these should be the attributes or outcomes which we want. So to achieve that, we take a step-by-step approach. We design the curriculum in that way so that those
outcomes are. Education you all understand. No?
Yes.
Education is a process, it's a way of learning. It could be formal, it could be informal, it could be school education, it could be college education, university education, whatever it is. Now this education has to be based on something. So you must be able to assess that whatever you have taught, the student has learned, number one. Whatever he or she has learned, he is able to use it properly. Use it means, the purpose is, they go for some industry, for some job, they go for some higher studies, they may open up a startup, okay? But the main purpose is, the main outcome that we want is, that he or she should be a good citizen, okay, and be able to work for his own and for the society in general. That is the purpose. So, what is happening is, whatever we talk about, any education, any program, it could be school program, it could be college program, it has got certain objectives and certain outcomes. You take a program, you understand the difference between a program and a course? Program is BTech, BSc, and course is subject. So any such thing has got a set of objectives, what do you want to learn, and a set of outcomes. That means after completing this, what you should be able to do. Conventionally, we have been talking these terms in very, very general scenario. It could be a broader aspects, what a learner wants, or what you actually want to learn. There could be a set of objectives, and then there are certain expectations, and then you work upon these expectations over a period of time. That is the duration of the program, and then you go for the outcomes. If I talk in general, the basic fundamental that we started about the question, what is outcome-based education? So we must understand there is one output-based education, and then there is one outcome-based education. And when I say output-based education, I am talking about the output that is in the measurable terms. So as a student, maybe as a 12th class student, a student might obtain 95% marks. Your whole class may have an average of 90%, and then there is a 100% result. That is all I have passed. That is an output-based education. Similarly, when you talk about in any college or a university program, so if you make a statement that 80% of the students of my class have obtained marks more than 75%, that is an output-based statement. I am talking about only the numbers. I am talking about the result. That means 95% pass percentage. This is the result. That's okay. So this is output-based statement. So over the years, we used to get those feelers that our graduates are not employable. You must have heard this statement. Our engineering graduates are not employable. What does that mean? They got 95% marks. Then why they are not employable?
So they are not industry ready.
They are not industry ready. Why? You have given them 90% marks.
So that's depend on the how they have studied their course.
So that means industry ready is a requirement. Industry ready is one requirement. Okay. So that means we did not work on the industry readiness. We worked only on the subjects, their marks and so on. So when I say outcome from the industrial point of view or maybe from outside world, I say that students require something more than knowledge, something beyond knowledge. Knowledge they have got, okay, bookish knowledge they have got, they are able to perform well in exams, they are able to crack the entrance exam, but then they do not have those traits which are required to work in an industry. Those traits could relate to the behavioral outcome also. Those traits could be communication related also. Those traits should be a generalized outside knowledge also. They are not having that. So that means there is a question mark on the education system. If I am talking about outcome-based, output-based education, that means there is a question mark. Even after producing engineers or maybe any student of that sort who is having 90% marks and the whole class result is 100%, teacher says my result is 100%, my feedback is very good, everything is okay, but then no job. So then we say this is the difference between output-based education and outcome-based education. When I say output-based education, I am talking only about the numbers in terms of the marks, in terms of the percentage of the result. When I am talking about outcome-based education, I am talking about those traits. I am talking about those additional things which are required to face the outside world. When I say face the outside world, this is society also. This is your country also. So education does not end only in the classrooms. Its implementation has to be there throughout the life. So if you are unable to control yourself on a road, you are crossing, you are jumping the red lights, your education is of no use. If you are unable to think positive about your country, about your state, about your parents, about the elders, your education is of no use. That's why we say we must have outcome-based education instead of output-based education. We require knowledge domain also, we require behavioral aspects also, we require values also in our systems. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be disorder in the system, there will be disorder in the society. So that's why we move towards the outcome-based education. Similarly, if I talk in terms of numbers only, in research also, then it's the the output is that I got, say for example, I got some papers, some research papers, that is number. I got a PhD, that is just a degree. So here also outcome is that if you have got 50 publications or say 100 publications, or if you got a PhD degree, then what is the quality? Quality in terms of the I-10, quality in terms of H-index, quality in terms of the citations. That is the purpose. Similarly, if it is a PhD, then is that PhD just a degree? Or with your PhD, you are able to bring some change in the academia, you are able to bring some change in the industry, you are able to bring some change in the society. That is the outcome. Otherwise, you just work on something, do some experiments, study something, publish few papers, fulfill the requirement of the university, publish a thesis, and that's all. Keep it in the side. What is the use of that? So in the whole scenario, these are the examples that how, what is the difference between the output based and the outcome based education. You talk about any program, you talk about any system, even at a school level, if a student of class 10th or a class 12th, they might obtain very good marks, but then at the same time, at that junction, they require something which is to be embedded in their mind as a value system, as a behavioral system, because they are actually the people who are tomorrow going to become the leaders, and they might have to lead other people also. So all these systems in the society are affected by these things. From all the levels, maybe from the students also, school students also, college students also, or maybe beyond that also. Okay. So this is the primary difference between the output and the outcome. I hope now you understand.
Yes.
If somebody asks you, what is the outcome-based education, you should be able to speak for some time on that. That this is the difference between output and outcome. We will have more examples also. Now, this outcome-based education system is now in our regulatory bodies also, in our other such bodies also, and they are also now focusing on these type of system. So if I talk about AICT is a body. People are there from school system also. AICT is it's a regulatory body, All India Council for Technical Education, which regulates all such technical programs. It could include the BTech program, the engineering program. It could include the diploma programs. It could include the management program. It could include the hotel management. Okay, architecture. So these are the programs that are being covered by this. And now the AICT has given a model curriculum which includes this outcome-based education system. Similarly, UGC, the University Grants Commission, which is an umbrella body for all the universities, that also has given a framework which is given in terms of learning outcome curriculum, outcome-based curriculum framework. And you will find that I will show you some examples also if time permits, that how this outcome-based education, how this course outcomes, program outcomes, or the learning outcomes, they are in the system of the BSc programs, okay, BA programs, or maybe some related programs. Okay. Similarly, the National Medical Commission, which was earlier known as MCI, Medical Council of India, that is in the MBBS program also. I would get a chance to see their curriculum also. So there also you will find that it is covering the competence-based model and covering the those action verbs of the Bloom's taxonomy. Similarly, other bodies like Pharmacy Council of India, and the two accreditation bodies in our country, that is the NB and the NAC. So they are also covering they are also including the outcome-based education. So NBA you are already seeing in this program that how the NBA is covering various outcome-based models in various criteria, and even in NAC also you have criteria, you got focused points on the outcome-based education. The very first question of the NAC manual relates to this one. Okay. So objectives, when we say that for any program you need to have some objectives, your objectives have to be, they have to be smart. Smart in terms that you must see that you are only talking something which is very specific. If you are talking about a program, what type of program it is. Similarly, it has to be measurable, achievable, realistic and time-bound. That means it should not be open-ended. You should be able to measure with help of some examinations, or maybe with help of some rubrics, and it has to be time-bound over a period, maybe 3-year program, or maybe 4-year program, or maybe a 2-year program, and then it has to be realistic and achievable. So objectives that we write down for any program, they have to be very specific and they have to be smart in this sense. Similarly, when I say outcomes is what I am expecting that after, like somebody told, that after doing this program, what do you expect from the candidate, or what do you expect from a student? So that means it is something in future tense. You are expecting, so beginning with end in mind. You are beginning with having something end in the mind, that this is what would be the purpose of this. Say for example, when I started this lecture, or when I prepared this lecture for you, I had something in mind, that at the end of this particular, say, lecture, or at the end of this particular interaction, you will be able to have a basic fundamental clear about outcome-based education, what all is about COP and this system. Okay, so for any program that I told you, it could be BSc program, it could be diploma program, it could be BTech program, MSc program, any program, you have a set of objectives and outcomes, and these objectives and outcomes are not only at the program level, they are also at the department level, and they are also at some school level, or maybe at the institute level. Okay. So we have been normally talking about goals and the objectives, and then we talk about the outcome. So when I say goal or objective, goal and objective, they look as if they are synonyms, but actually they are not. Goal is something which is point oriented, whereas objective is something which is direction oriented. So you need to have a set of objectives to achieve a goal. So achieving something, like like you play a game of hockey or a football, you say goal only at one point of time when the ball passes through those two poles. So goal is a single point. So to achieve that goal, you might have a set of objectives. Like there may be multiple objectives or the multiple statements with the direction to obtain a single statement or to a single goal. Okay. Similarly, in education system also, we say that educational outcomes are the statements which student will know or will be able to do if she or he has done everything in the course of session. So I am talking about whatever we have taught or whatever he or she has learned during this program, which could be a, say, engineering program of 4 years. Anything means it could be industry related also, it could be cultural fest also, apart from the classroom teaching, it could be lab also, it could be workshop also. So whatever he or she has learned, then they are able to do something with that. They are able to use that particular experience, use that particular knowledge. The result of program operations or activities or the effects produced by the program. It is not only that program, it is also the effect produced by that particular program. So, continuous learning. Over a period of time, whatever you learn, with the basis of that you learn something else. Then you again learn something else. So, it's a series that goes on, and then you could be able to map a specific objective or maybe a cumulative result of some of the objectives. So that is what is all education. outcome is promoted. Okay? Now the whole background of all these things is outcome-based education is Bloom's taxonomy. So have you heard Bloom's taxonomy word? Some of you might have heard. Now, whatever education system we are talking about, we could say that we are working in 3 different domains in our education system, in our scenario, because learning something is class is not only education. That I think you agree with me. Playing cricket is also education. It's also a learning domain. Similarly, if you are doing some skill-oriented job, that is also your education system. So we are working in 3 different domains as per the educational psychologist Benjamin Bloom. One is affective domain, one is psychomotor domain, and one is cognitive domain. So what is affective domain? Affective domain is that arena of education where you are learning the behavioral aspects, where you are more into the emotional part of things, where you are changing or getting the mindset changed. That is the affective domain, where you deal with the emotions of the attitude. Can you give me some example? Some school, some college, which deals with these things? Say for example, when you prepare your students for the cultural fest or for some youth festival, so they also will prepare. You ask them to enact and then give some performance. So is that not a learning? Or an institution like National School of Drama, or an institution like Film Institute Pune, where you are learning domain is to look happy even if you are not happy. That is also a, an area of learning. So that domain is affective domain. That learning is affective type of learning. Similarly, we have been talking about the psychomotor domain. The psychomotor domain of learning is, what is psychomotor? Psychomotor is something like coordination of eye-hand movement. Coordination of eye-hand. Haath chalana aata hai, you are able to do something. So it's like a skill. So that is a psychomotor domain. So what type of school or college will come in this category? Sports could be one of them, yes. Dancing could be another. Driving could be another.
Typing.
Music could be another. Typing could be another. So that area of learning. Painting is one part. So where you are having coordination, everyone can't do painting, as you said. Even if you are getting 90% marks, you can't do painting. That is a different area. Similarly, everyone can't play table tennis. Everyone can't play tabla. So these are different areas of learning. So those institutions like National Institute of Sports Patiala, or maybe some where you are learning some music, or where you are learning how to play some instruments. That is it. That is which domain? That is also learning. And third domain, cognitive domain, is where we all are. Books, knowledge, experimentation, some analysis. So this is the third type of learning, which encompasses intellectual or thinking skills and gaining knowledge. So you see there are 3 different types of learning. So in each type of learning, do you think they are independent of each other? No, they are not independent. Even in the third domain, you require some percentage of first domain also, second also. Even in your college, even in your school, even in your teachings, you require something of psychomotor domain also. It could be something like for extracurricular activities, or it could be for some experimentation, it could be for some workshop. So that domain is also covered. But yes, major part is your third domain. So that's why we are saying that all these three domains are not independent of each other. Rather, there is some overlapping. But yes, the percentages, the weightages, they differ in each three of them. Say, if I talk about second domain, if you are learning to play some game, so that does not mean that you don't have any theory part of that. You have those theory parts. So the levels are different, the percentages are different. Now in each of these three levels of learning, domain of learning, there are different levels of learning. You don't jump onto highest level. First chapter is introduction, or it could be background, and then slowly you move ahead, and then maybe you are able to design a crane. So design part is little higher level. So that means there are steps in learning. Each time there are steps in learning. Even if you play a game, then also there are steps of learning. Even if you do swimming, there are steps of learning. So what does that mean? There are different levels of learning in Bloom's taxonomy. And that is what we follow in class also. That is what we follow in the examination system also, in our question paper also. So there are different levels of learning. Now, each of these three domains have got different levels of learning. Okay. Lowest level to the highest level. Say for example, this is the level of learning of our third part. We will stress on the third part, that is cooperative domain. Now these are the levels of learning. So you will be surprised to see that knowledge is the
First one.
lowest level of learning. Knowledge is the lowest level. What is knowledge? What is knowledge? Knowledge is nothing but this is knowledge. Remembering the previously learned material, they call data or information. That is what it does. If I am able to learn, if I am able to recall what are the capitals of some countries, who are the chief ministers of some states, or something about geography, something about history, basic knowledge. I am able to recall data, that is. So knowledge is the lowest form of learning. Similarly, you come to comprehension, the ability to grasp the meaning of knowledge being learned. So, next level of learning. Then, application, how to apply that knowledge. We will come with example. Analysis, synthesis, and finally the evaluation. So even in your life also, you will see that knowledge is the lowest level of learning. Remembering starts with remembering. When a student enters in first year of engineering, you take that student to say, for example, a workshop. Okay, there are various machines. Now that student has not seen those machines in his lifetime or in her lifetime. Maybe yes, drilling machine every one of us has seen at some place, but it is possible that nobody has seen a lathe machine. Lathe machine, you know? Some of you know what is a milling machine?
Yes.
I mean, I'm talking about the examples.
It comes up CNC machine,
Yeah.
a turning machine, a milling machine, VMC we can call that.
Yeah, so it could be your oscilloscope also. Okay, anything depending on your area. It could be a, say, UPS also,
Yes.
or it could be something, anything which you are dealing with. So in first class, the student will have knowledge only that this is called a lathe machine. Then in next class or in next sessions, you would say that comprehension, these are the parts of the machine, okay? These are the functions, these are the applications, and slowly at the highest level. In our life also, when a child is there, maybe 1 year, 2 year, what is the first level of learning that you give to a child?
So one is hearing, then listening, and then learning. That is what the permanent change in their behavior.
Okay, so listening is something which is there.
Yes.
Okay, But say for example, as a mother, or as a father, what is the first level of learning that you give to your child? What do you teach your child? Okay, let us take it that way. What do you teach your child?
नॉलेज देते हैं दैट ये मम्मा है पापा है तो
ठीक है, मतलब पहचानते हैं ना सब चीज़, ठीक है।
Recognition, right.
चलो मैं कहता हूँ रिकॉग्निशन भी अपने आप आ जाती है, आप नहीं भी बताओगे तो हमारा सिस्टम ऐसा है कि वो पेरेंट्स को पहचान लेते हैं।
Milestones, yes.
ओके, व्हाट एल्स?
Mother tongue.
The word,
Which word you tell?
mother, father,
Mother, father, okay,
the first walk, the walk,
okay. Something more, knowledge.
Uh,
Something more, recall the facts. Something to identify.
food,
Identify body parts.
Yes.
You know, what do you tell to a child? That these are your eyes,
Yes.
that this is your mouth. So what is that? That is Bloom's first level of learning as a human being. You have to only tell once that this is your nose. Throughout your life, you will remember. So levels of learning are like this only, and all these levels of learning are now connected to some words. They are connected to some verbs, some action verbs. So if I say knowledge, which is a previously learned material, then I would say that this could be described by certain verbs, which could be defined, distinguish, identify, inquire. So these are the some basic level words, okay, that we say that they are talking about the knowledge. So I am now relating these levels of learning to some verbs. Similarly, comprehension. Similarly, I talk about application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Highest level of learning is evaluation. So if I say highest level of learning, then there is a word called validate. There is a word called validate. So how many of you have used this word validate? Have you used this word validate in your class? Say yes or no. No.
In experimental basis.
Yes.
Whenever we are going
So,
to
Professor Kavra says you use in the PhD work, and he is right. Normally we say that whatever you have done, have you validated your results?
Yes.
And that normally you do not talk in class.
Yes. So in entrepreneurial journey, there is a concept of
So what I want to connect with this, that this is the highest level of learning. So these words are connected in such a way that you are able to analyze them as a teacher, that yes, they are connected in this way.
Can we have a tea break?
अच्छा। ठीक है।
We have a 5 minutes tea break, and please resume. जल्दी आ जाए, ठीक है? सुबह आएगा।
हाँ।
आगे please.
ये बंद